Even at this late night hour, we continue to track some showers and a couple of thunder showers that are out there. I'm Chief Meteorologist Chris Holcomb from the 11 Alive Weather Impact Team. Today, we did have an 11 Alive Weather Impact Alert in effect, not because we were concerned about widespread severe weather or anything. It's just because today was the day with the highest rain chance that we have had in a while. And many of you had to experience some wet impacts. In fact, some of those impacts that we haven't seen in a while, even some issues on the roads today. Since it's been so long since we've had a good coverage of rain around, we even had some drains that were clogged that caused some problems on some of the roads with some ponding and some isolated flooding in some spots. Now things are a little bit quieter, but still the rain chance hasn't totally gone away. We still have a few of those scattered showers that are still out there for tonight. As you can see, as we're looking on radar here on the south side, some lighter rain generally along I-20 and southward. We'll take a closer look at that coming up in just a little bit. Additional showers here in northwest Georgia in Chattooga County, moving into Gordon County there, not too far from Calhoun, and that far northern part of Floyd County right there that you see, where we have some of those showers that are moving through with a little bit of heavier rain. Nothing in Atlanta right now. We had some showers earlier in the afternoon, really late afternoon, that came through the city, and then those kind of blew up going over to the east with a lot of lightning and a lot of rain, but those have now fallen apart. Now we're watching this batch coming from Douglas County, South Fulton County, stretching on down into Coweta County, as well as into Heard County, parts of Carroll County there. That's just a few lighter raindrops, and those are moving up closer to the city. So still the potential for a couple of showers here, but nothing particularly heavy. That rain that was coming out of Randolph County, Alabama, that moved into Carroll County as well as here into Heard County, did have a little bit of thunder and lightning with it about 30 minutes or so ago, with a lot of red in there in the northern parts of Heard County. Now that that's moving into Coweta County, it is some rain, but we no longer have any lightning with it, and we no longer have any of the heavy or moderate rain with it. It's kind of trending down just a little bit, but that's all part of that system. Look at this, that came through Carroll, had a little thunder and lightning with it. That's what's moving into Douglas and South Fulton right now, and it is a lot weaker than it was a little bit earlier. Go on over here into Henry County along 75. We have some lighter showers there. Spalding County, Butts County, also these showers, Pike Lamar County. You have light to moderate, kind of in between light and moderate right there from Barnesville over into these areas of Pike County too, and that's going to keep pushing on over to the east. And then still a few of these over into Jasper County, Putnam County, Morgan County there along I-20 close to Lake Oconee, where we still have a few light showers that are going on too. So some folks are getting some rain, others are not. In northwest Georgia, a little more spotty activity there, but these contain a little bit of heavy rain. You see this here in Chattooga County near Somerville, that north end of Floyd County, moving into Gordon County. We have a pocket of heavier rain just to the west of Calhoun. You see that right there? Let me put this into, well, I'll just leave it like the way it is. But you can see this heavier rain there in western Gordon County, west of 75. This is going to be inching a little bit closer to Calhoun if it holds together. At least some rain will be coming down in Calhoun. Whether or not the heaviest rain is going to make it there, we'll wait and see, because the trend has been that these kind of taper off a little bit. Now, we also are watching these in Whitfield County, moving into Murray County with some heavy rain there in parts of northwest Georgia. So still some showers out there, even though most of Atlanta is getting a break right now, but we'll just watch some of those lighter showers on the south side that still have the potential to move in. Additional showers here in North Alabama, back into northern Mississippi, western Tennessee. Just this moisture keeps feeding in here, and that's why we continue to call for additional chances for just some spotty showers. Nothing really widespread, nothing too strong at all out there at all. Here's a live look at what we're watching right now with our tower cam here in Atlanta. This is at Georgia Tech. We're looking over toward Midtown, kind of east-northeast here with this view. There are a few clouds out there. We don't have any rain. And a great view. Visibility looks good here of the skyline. We're also watching right now up at Truist Park. The lights are on there at the stadium. Nice night. Few clouds, no rain around, mild temperatures that are in the 70s. And here's our view from DeKalb County over on Arizona Avenue, looking toward the city of Atlanta, where again, we're not seeing any rain here in the city, but it's on the south side where we have a few of those lighter showers that are around. It got hot out there today, highs up to 87 degrees. Our low this morning was 72. Both of those temperatures, the morning temperature and the evening temperature, above the averages. We should be around 63 this time of year. Our average high for this time of year is 82. And Hartsfield-Jackson didn't really pick up much rain at all, only 1/100th of an inch. Now, I know a lot of you, I had somebody email me from Decula saying that they had a lot of rain. It was raining so hard they could barely see the front yard looking out the window. That was raining at such a high rate there, whereas at Hartsfield-Jackson, only 1/100th of an inch. So officially in the rain gauge there, we're running about 3.62 inches below where we should be in rainfall for the year. Now, notice I showed you that high of 87, but do you see that here on the bar graph? No, I don't see it either. The highest that we see here is 84. What happened is between these hourlies there, between 3 and 4, we actually had some sunshine breakthrough and it warmed things up quickly but briefly, and we hit 87 between those hourlies. So yeah, that's why we had the high temperature. And that low of 72, it was for numerous hours. From 3 in the morning until 8 in the morning, we held at 72 degrees, and then we warmed up, of course, going into the afternoon. If you watched us earlier, either at 4, 5, and 6 o'clock, or in my 7 o'clock update here on 11 Alive Plus, or my 8 o'clock update, we were showing you an area of dark green over to the east where there was a level 1 risk for an isolated severe storm. But I was telling you that I was really expecting that the Storm Prediction Center would take that green color or that level 1 risk away. And they usually do the update between 8 and 9 o'clock. They did update it, and they took that level 1 risk away, just because we don't expect any severe weather to happen here. We just have a few of these spotty showers. We no longer have any ingredients for a low risk severe storm or anything, but maybe a little thunder and lightning here and there, but we just don't expect anything severe here in our area. And we don't expect that for tomorrow either. It is going to be no severe weather that's going to be pushing into our area. Here's a look at these temperatures that we have around North Georgia right now. 75 in Atlanta. When we hit 87 for a high today, that was, of course, in those afternoon hours. And then we had some rain that came in the city. Even though Hartsfield-Jackson only got 1/100th of an inch of rain, excuse me, there was still some rain nearby that sent some rain-cooled air to Hartsfield-Jackson, and our temperature dropped to 79 from 87, thanks to that rain-cooled air. And then we've been holding in the 70s ever since. We're 75 right now. It's cooler in Gainesville and Athens. They had some rain that held on with them a little bit longer, and their temperatures cooled even more, and they're still holding there in the lower 70s. So tomorrow, we expect to get down to around 69 degrees here early tomorrow morning, and then relatively slow to rise. We're going to have some clouds around, so that's going to kind of hamper the amount of warming that we could get. But we'll get up to around 78, noon, 1 o'clock, lower 80s at 3, 82 around 5 o'clock. And you'll notice here, clouds mainly in the morning, a little sun mixing in the afternoon. But with some of that heating, we'll see the potential for a couple of isolated showers that could develop. That rain chance is at about 40%. So not a widespread coverage of rain, but a 40% chance that you'll get hit by one of those showers. So here's what we're watching with those showers there on the south side. As we go through the late night hours, you can see some of these over to the west of us trying to move into metro Atlanta. Again, the potential for some raindrops here, but nothing crazy through the overnight hours. Tomorrow morning, mainly dry for your drive into work in the metro area, but maybe a couple of showers to the northeast of us, a couple down to the south. At lunchtime, clouds mixing in with sunshine, just a couple little spotty showers around here on the north side. And then in the afternoon, again, not a widespread coverage of rain. 40% chance you might get hit at any time during the day, but nothing crazy is going to be in our area. We don't expect anything strong here too. Friday night, rain chances diminishing, maybe a few showers there along the Georgia-South Carolina line late on Friday night. Then we go into Saturday. Dry start to the day, a few clouds. At lunchtime, mix of sun and clouds, but no rain. Then into the afternoon, you see a little bit of green showing up here, but not a lot. This is just a 20% chance for an isolated shower to develop on Saturday. So I really think a lot of us will make it through the day on Saturday without seeing any of that rain at all. It clears out during the evening hours, so the Georgia-Alabama game should be fine over in Athens. And then on Sunday, It is going to be another dry day. We don't expect any showers to develop here for your Sunday. So you see the 40% chance on Friday, 20% Saturday, no rain Sunday, 20% chance Monday, and then 30% chance on Tuesday, we think. The reason I say that is because we don't have a lot of confidence into the forecast for next week. We are basing this forecast based on what we are seeing right now in the models, but those models are not agreeing on what's going to happen next week, and that's all because of what could happen with two systems that we're watching in the tropics. And speaking of not agreeing, this is the American model, the GFS, that shows over the next 7 days that we would have 1.1 inches of rain in Atlanta, but 3.2 in Athens, all right? This European model shows only 1/3 of an inch of rain over the next 7 days, but 1.7 in Athens. So where these models are agreeing is that there's a better chance on the east side of having some heavier rain, all right? The American model showing more, the European model showing a better chance for more rain over to the east, but not as much as what the American model is showing. The reason these models are not in agreement is because we have a potential tropical system that we're watching. There are actually two of them out there, but one of them is going to come closer to the southeastern coast, and the models are not in agreement on to where exactly it's going to go, how strong it would be, or what type of impacts it can bring to the southeast. So I want to spend the next few minutes breaking all of that down for you. Let's start with Umberto. This is the one we told you about yesterday. Actually, we've been following that system for days and days here as it was coming off the coast of Africa. It did develop into a tropical storm. It became a tropical storm yesterday. Umberto is the name. Winds are up now to 60 miles an hour. It's been strengthening, moving to the northwest at about 6 miles an hour. Here's the other one that I want to talk to you about that is over and just north of Hispaniola, right up in this area here. That's the one that's going to have a potential impact on us. So let's talk about Umberto first. Wind 60 miles an hour. It's going to grow, and it is most likely going to become a hurricane tomorrow, and then a Category 3 over the weekend, a major hurricane, and then move up to the north. Again, Monday still is a Cat 3, Tuesday back to a Cat 2. Here's the U.S. coastline. Here's Bermuda. It looks like this storm or this hurricane is going to go between the U.S. and Bermuda and then curve away and move up toward the north and east, not really having an impact on the U.S. except potentially for some rough surf there in North Carolina. Now, let's look at this one. Again, there's Umberto. Here's the other one we're watching, all right? You see a lot of convection here around Hispaniola and into Puerto Rico. The actual, if you could call it even a center of circulation, is right here pretty much just north of Hispaniola, where you see that X, all right? That is the potential system that could become a tropical depression or a tropical storm. 80 to 90% chance that that would happen. The next name on the list is Imelda. It hasn't been upgraded yet, doesn't have a name yet, but if it is, that would be the name that it gets. But what I want you to see here, this red blob, here's Florida, so off the eastern coast of Florida, pretty much following the Bahamas, from Turks and Caicos here up through the Bahamas. All of these islands here are part of the Bahamas chain, all right? This is where the system could grow to become a tropical depression or a tropical storm, maybe a hurricane. We just don't know that yet. But this is the system that would be closest to the southeast coast. We think Umberto is going to be coming around like this and curving away as it goes between the U.S. and Bermuda. But this, which would be Imelda, is going to be closer to the southeastern coastline. So this is the one that we really have to watch. Now here's where it gets tricky. When we look at these spaghetti models, where you see these lines that are closer together, that's when the models are in more of an agreement. And they're all pretty much showing the storm tracking pretty much over the Bahamas with rain, some wind. Whether or not it's a tropical storm or a hurricane, we don't know that part yet. Once it gets north of the Bahamas, though, notice these lines spreading apart. Then the models just go every which way. Some models show this going to the north, curving away from the U.S. Another one, a couple of those, still show it curving away from the U.S. But a couple of the main models show it moving in to around the South Carolina coastline, and then potentially the remnants coming back toward Atlanta. So if anybody is telling you right now that they know what this storm is going to do, they're just guessing basing on the models. I'm just going to be honest with you. We do not know what it's going to do yet. And I say that because the storm hasn't even developed yet. Once it develops And once we can get some good data from it, from Air Force reconnaissance flying into it, hurricane hunters flying into it, we will be able to hopefully fine-tune this track a little bit more. If this moved up to the north and then curves away and goes to the east, our impacts would be lower. But if it moves into the South Carolina coast and then dissipates in North Carolina, we would still be on the quieter side of the system, but we might have some minor impacts. But if this happens, if it goes into South Carolina and the remnants move into our area, we would have higher impacts with those higher rainfall amounts. So that's why that American model and the European model were showing much different rainfall amounts, but higher rainfall the farther east that you go into East Georgia and also into South Carolina. So it's our job as meteorologists to watch for trends with these models. Just because we see one model showing something, that doesn't mean, oh, that's what's going to happen right there. We just watch these models for trends, and what we hope is that once we get a little further out, these lines will come closer together and the models will be in a little bit more of an agreement. And my hope is this is going to curve away from the U.S. and we would not have any impacts from what would be Imelda. So just know we'll keep watching it. I'm going to show you a couple of the models here. I usually refrain from, I feel like a lot of people just say, this is what the European says, this is what the GFS says, and then they leave you to guess. But I think it's our job as meteorologists to look at these models and then tell you what we think is going to happen. But I'm going to show you both of these models because this just shows you the wide ranges of the scenarios that we have. This is the European model. It shows, again, over us, spotty showers tomorrow. It's showing we've got a 20% chance for showers on Saturday. It's trying to show a couple of showers Sunday, but I don't think that's going to happen. Then going into Monday, here comes the system that we're watching, all right? The European model shows it moving up toward the north, all right? South Carolina into North Carolina, keeping most of the moisture away from us for Monday and Tuesday, and then maybe spreading some of that moisture our way on Wednesday as well as on Thursday, all right? So that's just one scenario. Now, when you look at this and think the European, that's usually the one that's a little more reliable than the American model. I also have a European AI model that we aren't able to show on TV yet, but it's one that I look at behind the scenes. Even though it is still a European model, it is an AI model as well. It's showing the storm not even coming inland. It's showing it moving away. So that again is just, even though it's a European, just like this one, the AI component of it pulls it away from the coastline. So that's a couple of scenarios there. Here's the American model, the GFS, that I want to show you. So it says the GFS there. So again, we've got a couple of showers tomorrow, 20% chance on Saturday, mainly dry here on Sunday. This model again trying to kick up a little shower there. This is showing a landfall there at South Carolina, not really the center going into North Carolina, but the remnants on Tuesday and Wednesday coming right back here into Atlanta, spreading more rain into our area. So that is another scenario. So yesterday, the models were showing it pretty much dissipating off of the southeastern coastline, thinking that Umberto would kind of steal some of the energy away from it, and then Imelda wouldn't have anything really to work with to grow, and then dissipating. So none of the models yesterday were really showing a landfall in South Carolina. Then this morning, the two major models started showing that landfall possible with those tracks going over more toward the west. So again, it's our job. We'll be watching the models, and then we'll hopefully get a little more consistency within those, and we'll be able to share more information as we get more information from the storm, the recon data that's going to be coming in. That'll help us to track it and decide where it's going and what type of impacts that we could have here. So in looking at all of that and all of these scenarios that I just showed you, I'm going to show you the 7-day forecast, but I want you to know that when we get into next week, there's a big question mark because it all depends on what the would-be Imelda is going to do. So we feel more confident about the first part of the 7-day outlook, showing that 40% chance for showers here on Friday. Then just a 20% chance for showers on Saturday. No rain Sunday, high temperatures lower, some mid-80s. On Monday, back to a 20% chance. Now, that is the part that's really iffy, depending on if it tracks away or tracks closer to us. Also, right now, based on what we're seeing, we're going with a 30% chance Tuesday and Wednesday, 20% chance on Thursday too. However, if those models start trending more to the west with more of a South Carolina landfall and the remnants coming into us, we're going to have to really rise these rain chances into next week. So as of right now, if you're looking at the 7-day here on a Thursday, all right, and you see, oh, okay, 30% chance for rain next week, and you don't look at a forecast again until next week, you may be surprised as to what's going to happen, because we're going to be updating this forecast for you every day based on that new model data that's going to be coming in. So I'm going to wrap up right now. We'll put you back to radar so you can watch some of those showers around. I'm going to have another extended weather update for you coming up at 10 o'clock tonight here on 11 Alive Plus and Weather Impact 24/7. And then again at 11 o'clock tonight, we'll have our newscast for you here on 11 Alive Plus. So thanks for being here with me tonight for this extended update. I hope I was able to educate you on what we think is going to happen, some of the frustrations with this forecast, and kind of the behind the scenes look at the inner workings of those models, how they're just not in agreement on this potential system. So we hope that'll come together a little bit more. We'll have more updates for you again tonight at 10, 11 o'clock tonight with our newscast, and then a lot of updates during the day tomorrow too. Thanks for watching.